Welcome back for another weekly Nuggets of Wisdom. And so glad that you could join in with us on tonight. So we're going to jump right in for this um, tonight's nugget. And it's really going to come from this time from one of my favorite scriptures. And it's something that I've gone to often, and it's Psalms 55 and verse 22. And you've probably heard me say it or mention it or reference it at some point before, but I just wanted to have this be a point of a reflection and just a point of encouragement, because I know this is one of my, out of many, but this is one that I've had with me for a while. And I like this version um, of scripture to read, and it's the message version, the message Bible. And so I'm going to read it in that version. I think it makes it very plain and gives those a vivid description. So it says, pile your troubles on God's shoulders. He'll carry your load. He'll help you out. He'll never let good people topple into ruin. Read again. Pile your troubles on God's shoulders. He'll carry your load. He'll help you out. He'll never let good people topple into ruins. And again, that Psalms 55, verse 22. And like I said, it being my favorite scripture, I never really looked at it in this context or in this version until just recently. But I love it because it is very descriptive of, just being able to give your worries, your cares, cast those burdens to God, give them. And so a lot of times the things that we may be dealing with or facing or coming up against, even in our day, sometimes this is something that we have to look at on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes really, we're doing pretty good, and there might just be some struggle at some point in the course of life or journey, and it's not necessarily an everyday thing. Sometimes we may have to um, do this more often than not, just depending on where we are in our journey, depending on what season we're in, what we're dealing and what we're up against. But at a point where you may feel, a little weighted down, you may feel like there's just a lot going on. Maybe there's a lot extra that's now on your plate. Maybe there's some extra responsibilities and things you have to, do with your family or at home. Maybe also couple that and add on to things that are having to go on with work and those responsibilities or tasks or just different things. There's so much that can become a part of our daily lives and routine that's on our checklist, that's on our to-do. We gotta do. And things that we deal with that can just easily begin to add up, right? It can begin to pile up. And it's like, well, oh my gosh, maybe I'm starting to be, weighted down. I'm starting to drown or sink, and just all of these things. And some of the responsibility, it's just natural. We have responsibility. We have things that we have to do in life, right? We can't have those go away. But those burdens and those cares, we think about those responsibilities that we know we have to do, and then we put on things that maybe are still not in our control, that we're still maybe trying to hold on to, that we're still trying to carry the weight of others, and what they're going through, or what they're dealing with. Maybe you're trying to problem solve and try to figure out something for somebody else, or be concerned to a point of that it begins to affect you mentally, begins to affect you physically, even. It begins to affect you spiritually, because sometimes when we carry the weight that we're not meant to carry, it will impact us. It will definitely impact us. When we carry the weight that we're not supposed to carry, it will impact us. We will see the result in our physical, you know, some kind of way. It will come out. And we will see that even happen a lot of times, even mentally, emotionally. So, what are those things like? I realized just in a couple few weeks that maybe I have picked up some more things that I really wasn't, easily casting off or putting off, or not letting it overtake me or consume me. And I realized late in the last few weeks that I've allowed some things to consume me a lot more. And I realized I had to come back to focus. I had to come back and get back on track with my mindset and what I was doing, what I was even kind of gearing my mind toward, and realized that there were some things I was picking back up in that was causing me to be stressed out. I was trying to carry this extra load and weight of just things picking up responsibility wise, and demands of work or demands of other people needing my attention or time, or just different things that are shifting and changing. And while those things, the shift and the season can change, or whatever you're dealing with, has those variables that can happen at any time. We have to keep in mind and be cognizant of those things that will come to try to be that dead weight, those things that would try to come and weigh us down unnecessarily. And so when we begin to go back and reflect and think about it, then we know that, okay, this is one thing that I know that I really, is not in my control, right? There's something I know that I can't really change, that is not within my power to really figure out or really do anything about. And, I can maybe be there. I can maybe support the person, or I can think about this, or try, but I'm at my capacity. And now when I reach that capacity to where now I'm still holding on to something, and now it's beginning to overflow, and then it's affecting other areas of my life, and then it's starting to affect me, then what does that look like? And then I know I gotta let some things go. I need to cast. I need to pile. In this case, I can pile my cares, my troubles on God. His shoulders are broad enough and big enough to handle. There's nothing that's too much for him. And I know for me, one of the things that I thought about of how it may come out or manifest for me physically, I was getting, and normally I just don't experience too much like headache. And in the last couple weeks, I was like getting these headaches that were just like really um bothering me, and it was really just like affecting me. And I had to go back and think like, okay, what's changed? What are you doing? My diet, and this hadn't changed. I'm still eating similar things, making sure, okay, am I drinking enough water? Trying to stay on the right path with that. Like, what's changed? And as I'm going back and I'm thinking and I'm pondering, and just reflecting, it came back to me that I was carrying on some things and some weight that now was beginning to manifest in my body. Now I'm having these headaches because I'm thinking so much. I'm having these opportunities with focus and all of this because I've picked up a weight, or to try to carry or trying to deal with or try to manage, and it's something beyond what I can, the capacity. It's beyond my capacity right now. And I have to realize that's okay. That doesn't mean I'm less of a person, or that I'm incompetent or anything, but I think it's even wise and it's smart for you to be able to understand your capacity, and when you've reached your capacity, and when it's time to let the overflow, the access, and to shift it somewhere else. And I'm learning in this season um, not to be guilted into carrying things more over than my capacity, not to be guilted, not to feel bad, not to feel less than or inadequate. There's only so much that we can deal with or handle or manage at a time. And I'm learning in this time, in this space in life, is to recognize and know what my capacity is and be okay with those limits and those parameters and guidelines. And I realize that that provides structure, that provides discipline, and it's for my good. It's for my good. Ultimately, it's to help me keep me strong, to keep me well mentally, physically, emotionally. When we begin to carry so much and pile on because we've always been the one, maybe you've always been the one someone can come to. And that's great at times. I felt like that at times at different points in my life. And maybe everyone just always expects that of you, whether that's at work, that's at home, whether it's in, your community or whatever you're involved in. You're just always the one. And the times that you picked up and maybe put all these things on yourself, at some point, it doesn't mean that you always continue to do that, because at different stages in life and where we are at different seasons means that our capacity can change. And we have to be able to recognize that and be able to adjust. And if we got to pivot a different way, and if we have to, take a little bit off that scale and cast it and put it off or say, oh no, not this time, this is not going to work for me, then be okay with that. So I'm learning that. But even in the worries and the things that we don't share with others, that maybe we deal with internally, even, that we cannot, that there's not an ultimate immediate change at this time. We don't know or don't have the answer. It's time for it to come to fruition, maybe, and it can become things that we may begin to worry or ponder more so about, that becomes a worry or stress, a burden. Then I want to encourage you, then cast it to the Lord. Pile it up on God, as He says. He will carry your load. He will help you out. He can help you carry it. He can help you to bear it. Because I love that end part where it says He will never let good people topple into ruin. Meaning, He won't let you fail. He won't let you be destroyed. He won't let you be overtaken. So all you gotta do is give it to Him. Cast those cares, cast those worries um, off to Him, and He will keep you. He will carry it. He will bear it, because He will not have you to fail. He would not have you to falter, and to be destroyed. He's got you. His shoulders are broad enough and big enough. He got you. And the things that you don't have to cast to the Lord, that maybe you just got to do some internal evaluation and evaluating and checking and going back and reviewing some things. Remember, then look at where you are in this current season and current time in your life, and look at and evaluate what's your capacity. And if your capacity has changed from the previous season or going to change in the season you're going to next, it's okay to reevaluate. It's okay to change. It's okay, because that's going to be a good thing for you, holistically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. It's okay. So remember your capacity. You don't want to be overflowing and or be so filled up like a balloon that you explode, or it's even worse that you implode internally, because there's so much that's built up and you've had to deal with and manage. So before that happens and we have an utter mess and things are just chaotic, before it gets to that, go back and review what's your capacity. And if you need to make a change, do so. And if there's things that you need to cast to God because it's out of your realm of control anyway, then give it to Him because He can handle it. He will not let you be ruined. All right. So take that with you and let that carry you and encourage you on this week.